Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is Will Lewis, and I am back once again on the Lewis Basketball Network here with another one. Keep the grind, keep the hustle, never stop, never settle, man. It is a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Truly appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch my video, man. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Truly appreciate it. So as you can see right here on this little tablet right here I got on my tablet, Kevin Durant had fired back on Twitter after Chris Broussard had questioned his Warrior titles. You know, this has been an ongoing topic the last couple of days now. As a matter of fact, when it comes to the Golden State Warriors for the last 2 weeks. So as it says, this is from, I believe, USA Today Sports. Shout out to them. Kevin Durant has long built a reputation as a sensitive personality. He's a top 3 player in the NBA, but he can't ignore criticism. Whether it be a Twitter troll or a media's member hot take, Durant struggles to let any of the noise go. Part of the issue with this, and I'm going to be objective about it, Kevin Durant in one sense could try to block out the noise by just not giving them any attention. Some of the guys in the NBA do a great job of that, and that's why the media, in one sense, hates them because they can't get any juicy stories or they can't create false narratives on them. So it's very difficult to do it. On the other hand, the media is very, very sick. They are a poor man's TMZ, mind you, and they will create any narrative that they will go to make sure that they realize when a certain agenda can be pushed towards a certain bias, they will create that notion. They will create that thunderstorm. They will create that clout, which, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Broussard and his 3-6 Mafia cronies have been trying to do for a very long time since Kevin Durant joined Golden State. So, continuing, on Monday, Fox Sports' Chris Broussard put together a radio segment. Look how special Chris is. He goes on his radio podcast with Rob Parker on, what's it called? The Odd Couple, that's right. And he does a radio segment that questioned the significance of Durant's 2 titles if the Warriors go on to win a title in his absence. Broussard called the Warriors' current playoff run Durant's worst nightmare. I'm going to say this again, ladies and gentlemen. The Warriors have an offensive style of play that they play better when Kevin Durant is not being the featured player and the offense is being run through him. They play better. But does that mean the Warriors are better without Kevin Durant? And the answer is no. You are going to need Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals if the Warriors are going to win. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, and Stephen Curry have all said in press conferences, they have already made it clear that they need Kevin Durant if they're going to win the NBA championship. Cap. The radio segment, like much of what Broussard says on a regular basis, and quite honestly, he just runs his mouth because he really doesn't know crap, if you ask me. I told you, the flip-flopping fanboy because of his love fest for LeBron James. That's what this all is. So, like much of what Broussard said on a regular basis was laughably absurd. Sure, Durant would like to be on the floor, but there's no way Durant would want to see the Warriors lose without him. That's just common sense. Durant can't come back if his team's eliminated. Like, duh. You'd like to see Durant ignore something so ridiculous, but he did not. Some people look at it as Durant's being his own man. Other people are going to say, KD is sensitive, he is a snake, he is a cupcake. Which nickname is it? Is he all 3? I don't know. Broussard goes, if the Warriors win the title without KD on Twitter, does that diminish his 2 rings? This is what the media does, create a story. I mean, Magic Johnson did a great job going on ESPN First Take and gave ESPN a bunch of stories for 2 months. And I'm going to do a deep breakdown of that Magic Johnson video in terms of what are my sincere, deep thoughts on this whole Lakers situation and what I think about Magic. Stay tuned for that. At Chris Broussard on Fox Sports Radio. Chris Broussard, Kevin Durant's worst nightmare is coming true. Players around the league tell me they put an asterisk by Durant's 2 championships. What in the world are they going to think if the Warriors win this championship without him? A lot of guys are really stemming out of jealousy. Some guys say competitiveness, but you got to understand, this is a players' league. Remember, who started this trend? I'm going to always ask that question. Who started this trend? Because KD may have joined a 73-9 team that lost 7 players to get him. I keep saying that because he joined the core 4 that were drafted and developed, but could people continue to say that they're the greatest team ever assembled when they were all drafted, not acquired as free agents, as I keep saying? But that's what the biasers always love to say, right? This is Chris Broussard's attempt as the lead LeBron recruiter to make sure that Kevin Durant leaves the Golden State Warriors so that Kevin Durant could either go to New York. So that gives Stephen A reason to kiss up to KD since he criticized him after joining the Golden State Warriors. Please. And then he wants to say that he's a savior and a god to New York. Stephen A simp can really pretty much just try to kiss behind. That's what he does. That's what he's doing. And to make sure that he's LeBron's arguably number one recruiter along with Shannon Sharpe as to who they can possibly bring. Or they could also say that they want Kevin Durant to join LeBron James, as I've said before, to say, see, LeBron can get players to play with him. LeBron didn't do it. In this case, it was you guys. So now Kevin Durant, KD Trey 5, as I always like to call him, or as he calls himself on Twitter, responds, hey, I see a little exaggeration there, buddy. My worst nightmare? You sure that this is the worst that it can get? It's so funny because Durant, during the Blazers series, was actually at the games, and he was congratulating the Warriors every time they won. I remember in Game 6 in Houston, he celebrated, I believe, from his, I think from where he's living, staying at, and he congratulated the Warriors. There's been rumbling saying that him and Steve Kerr have kind of like not seen a little bit of eye as of late. I don't know what's going on there, but I feel like it's more narrative to try to create dissension within the Warriors locker room. I just want to know what happens if the Warriors win a third straight title and Kevin Durant signs a one-year deal to stay with Golden State to try to see if they could get another one, a fourth straight championship in the new arena in San Francisco for the 2019-2020 season. Nick Wright and the rest of the 3-6 Mafia, the Lacronis, as I like to call them, will be on suicide watch. And they will continue to say it's unfair. When is LeBron going to get a Hall of Fame coach? When is LeBron going to get the players that he needs to win a championship? Look at all that worshiping just by those comments you guys make. And so Durant responded on Twitter, which of course led to Twitter trolls calling the Warriors star sensitive. And Durant sort of proved one Twitter user's point by responding. And then Kevin Durant goes, you're right. Let me chill before my sensitivity flares up, man. You're a real one, bro. Cam. And he goes, calm down. We know you're sensitive. So this was on May 20th. The Warriors had a 3-0 lead. And then Chris Broussard then goes on and says that he texted Kevin Durant for 2 to 3 hours straight on this issue. So as we go here, Chris Broussard wants all the smoke. So Chris Broussard started the week with a public feud on Twitter stemming from Fox Sports personality. Wait, are we sure this is KD or this is one of his burner accounts? We don't know. Well, they said at least he was using his real one because you know it's the real one when you have that little check next to your account. But wait, it was a burner account. No, but it could be real. So then Kevin Durant and Chris Broussard once again. So that a Warriors title in Durant's absence will be KD's worst nightmare. Durant, who has long struggled to ignore criticism on social media, took to Twitter to fire a response back at Broussard. Well, the back and forth continued into Wednesday, which is today, obviously. In an appearance on FS1, look how nice Chris is. He goes on his radio. First of all, he goes on Twitter. He goes on his radio podcast. And then when Kevin Durant responds, then he goes to FS1. This is what these social media heads do. They like to hide behind their networks and talk all that smack. But are they really going to sound the same if they were to see that person face to face? I doubt it. So he spoke off about his off-the-court relationship with Durant. Broussard described it as a love-hate situation, but he did go on to say that the two have texted for hours at a time on multiple occasions. Wow. Chris Broussard has even said, he went as far as basically saying that he's at times kind of questioned. They talked about religion. They talked about faith. And I said, man, there's just something really off with this story, man. Really, 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 really off. And I said, man, you are trying so hard that now all of a sudden you guys have a love-hate relationship. So Durant took notice, though, and basically called Broussard out for misrepresenting the facts. According to Durant, Broussard doesn't even have his phone number. But then you know what the KD haters are going to say, or they're pretty much going to say, well, maybe Kevin Durant has his number, and then he just went on Twitter and said, well, cap, he doesn't have his number. So Kevin Durant goes, KD Trey 5, right there, cap, you don't have my number, man. So, as you can see right here, this is on Undisputed. So, he says KD and him have a love-hate relationship, right? So, the media makes a living critiquing athletes, correct? That's very true. They do. But they do it in such a way when they're pushing an agenda. And we know this, ladies and gentlemen. So, then normally I say it would be a good idea for Durant to just ignore the daytime hot take shows. But if Broussard was inaccurately saying that they spent hours talking, then Durant has every reason to speak out about it. Broussard eventually saw Durant's response and said that he meant Instagram and Twitter DMs. From now, all of a sudden, he got KD on social media all over. Man, this is crazy. And it's so funny that it takes for the media to criticize Kevin Durant for people all of a sudden now to now appreciate Steph Curry all of a sudden. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember 2 weeks ago, all I heard from the media was Steph Curry has a tendency to choke in big moments. Now, at times he does not play well. But his chokes have not cost a series as compared to 2016. Because if you look at 3 of the 4 NBA finals Steph Curry has played, Steph Curry has played well. The only time he choked was 2016. But people have been using 2016 as if Curry is a constant playoff choker. If you want to go to 2013, that team was a second round team. They won 47 games that year. If you look at 2014, they won 51 games. A lot of people should have said they probably should have made a deep playoff run. I don't know what Curry's numbers were in those series. I would have to actually look up the numbers. But then 2015, he was having an incredible postseason up until the finals. He had one bad game, and I said that he shot 5 for 23. He actually played well from games 3 to 6. He was okay in game 1, but in game 2, he was 5 of 23. That killed his field goal percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, I said if Steph Curry shot the ball well in game 2, he would have finished with a 50, 40, 90 in that NBA Finals series that they had against the Cavaliers because he shot 44% for the series. Let's say that Curry doesn't even shoot the ball in game 2 or didn't play and he played the other ones. Curry would have shot 49% from the field. He would have shot 41.5% from 3, and he would have shot 92 from the line. He would have had a near 50, 40, 90. And let's say Curry shoots the ball well. He's over 50%. That's the difference that Curry makes within one game. But the finals MVP went to Iguodala because he averaged damn near 20 and shot 53%, and because of the defense of LeBron James. But Steph Curry had the better overall numbers. He didn't shoot 50%, but he had the better overall numbers. And remember, who's getting the most attention on the Golden State Warriors? It's not Iguodala, it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the superstar. He's the all-star on the team. He's going to get the attention, not Iguodala. So, as we keep going, Chris Broussard says right here, IG, DM, Twitter, DM, text, it's all the same thing nowadays, dude. Don't act like I'm lying. So, and then he responds to all that. So, and then why don't we just play the little video real quick on what Chris Broussard talks about, because he goes on F1 Undisputed. What a clown. Let's see if it goes on Undisputed. I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to say not now. And this is about Undisputed. And
KD and I have what I call a love-hate relationship. And I'm not trying to say we're bosom buddies and we're all that close. But we do have a relationship. We have texted. This is no exaggeration. There have been days, a couple of days, we've texted for 2-3 hours straight. Okay? About life, about basketball, about media, about faith. And I've challenged him on his faith, and because we do share a faith walk. Neither one of us is perfect in our faith walk. And I've challenged him, and he's challenged me. And our faith, common faith in Jesus Christ, no matter how flawed we each may be, has always enabled us to come to a point of civility and understanding. Even if we disagree, and even if we agree to disagree, we've always been able to come to that point of understanding. So this tweet, people are like, KD clapped back at you, KD went. This was tame. KD has gone at me much harder privately. Right. Like, he doesn't do it every time, but when I've said things on TV that he doesn't agree with, he will come back at me privately. And he's called me names. He's gone at me much harder than that tweet. And again, we've always been able to talk it out, come to a place of understanding. So this tweet was nothing to me. And what I'll say, obviously, he tried to go at it literally. Right. Oh, worst nightmare. Right. Obviously, it's a figure of speech. Right. Just that this narrative, this narrative that has followed him and dogged him could be coming to pass and get worse if they win it without him. But got some struggles right now, but my life is great. That's how you have to look at it. So that's how I look at this tweet. And I'll say that this is my last point. I have no problem ever with KD or any player coming at me. And you guys know this. In our position, we make a living critiquing athletes, right? Positively or negatively. Right. So it would be hypocritical of us to not be able to take it when they come back at us. So I'm fine with a guy coming back at me like, and again, it was very tame.
Gentlemen, basically, my thoughts on the Chris Broussard little, take on how KD clapped back basically is in a summation of this. KD, you can get mad all you want, but the reason that I'm doing this to you is I don't want you with the Golden State Warriors. Now I got a question for my subscribers. Why is it that Chris Broussard sounds like a hysterical woman every time he tries to make a point when he argues? Answer that question. But I honestly think that Chris Broussard is basically, his final message is basically saying, Kevin Durant, I want you out of Golden State. I don't want you to be with Steph Curry. I don't want you to be with Klay Thompson. I don't want you to be with that great team. Because as long as you're there, my boo, I'm the campaign manager for LeBron James. Magic Johnson chose to not do his job because he left, and I had all this faith in Magic. Now I'm the one that got to be doing the recruiting right now. I'm LeBron's campaign manager. I'm LeBron's hysterical voice right now on FS1. And I'm LeBron's campaign manager. I'm his recruiter. So I'm trying to get players to say that they can play with LeBron so that when LeBron wins a championship, we can open this conversation once again to say LeBron James led 3 different teams to the finals. He led 3 different teams to the finals. He won a championship in 3 different cities. What player can say they do that wherever LeBron goes, LeBron made an impact? Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you once again. Chris Broussard makes it sound like if LeBron James, the minute he got there, whatever city he's been on, they've won championships the first time. And it's so crazy because it's like the way he discredits KD is because he wants to say that LeBron didn't win his first year in Miami. LeBron didn't win in his first year when he returned to Cleveland. And LeBron James failed to make the playoffs with the Los Angeles Lakers. So LeBron faced adversity. KD has never had to face adversity. Well, I kind of beg to differ on that because KD in some form or some way is actually facing a little adversity. See, he's had to deal with the issues of people making a big story out of Draymond, people that made this thing about that, he's getting upset that this is Steph's team and he's not getting the recognition that Steph Curry deserves. So KD's facing adversity from the media. And I'm going to say this again. KD is the most polarizing player in the NBA since Mr. KB24 Kobe Bryant. Look how much the media talks about Kevin Durant constantly. It just tells you how big of a polarizing figure he is. Because think about it. The landscape of the NBA is going to change where Kevin Durant goes and possibly who he teams up with. That's how much power Kevin Durant has. And remember who this started with. This started with LeBron James and modern prime super team player movement. Okay? Where players are in control of their destiny more so now. We said it before. This is a players' league now. Where in college basketball, it's a coaches' league. But in the NBA, it's a players' league. And so, and it stinks more so for LeBron now because now it's like LeBron isn't a free agent for the next 3 years. And the Lakers can trade him because LeBron has a no-trade clause. And I think in some senses, Chris Broussard hates that even though LeBron has power, he doesn't have the power that he thinks he should have right now. And now that and remember also, LeBron is turning 35. Kevin Durant is 30 years old. Kevin Durant is in the prime of his career. And I said the way that both of their games are tailor-made, Kevin Durant, as long as he stays healthy, will have a slightly more longer career. Because again, is LeBron going to adjust his game? Is LeBron going to play in the system? Is LeBron going to expand his skill set a little bit to where he doesn't rely on athleticism? Because if he's still relying on athleticism, drives, and bully ball, how much faster can he decline? Because remember all of his inconsistent reports on his groin injury. And I've said, I'm going to say once again, If LeBron James was supposed to be out 6 months, according to the therapist, and according to when they did the MRI and stuff, and he's supposed to be out 6 months, why did LeBron James come back in 6 weeks? And why did LeBron James play in the All-Star game? And the worst part is, when he sat out due to load management and he sat out for the rest of the season, that's when the report came out. So I'm like, why are you doing this right now? That's the question I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen. So the bottom line is, Chris Broussard wants LeBron James to win a championship so bad so he could say that LeBron has done something no other player in the NBA history has done before as a superstar player, and it should reopen the conversation for why LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. At least he's neck and neck. He's a Mount Rushmore player, and he's with Michael Jordan. People have their different opinions. If you want to say LeBron is top 5, that's fine. If you want to say LeBron is top 10, that's fine. If you say LeBron's not a top 10 player, that's fine. I think it's disrespectful to say LeBron is not a top 50 player. That's taking it way too far. In my opinion, I said LeBron is a top 10 player. That's just me. I mean, I think it should be an honor that LeBron is among y'all. With the amount of great players that played, LeBron to be in the top 10 on my list, I think that's a hell of an accomplishment. I mean, you're recognized as one of the 10 greatest players in NBA history. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people say he's top 5. I mean, that's fine too. But I think when it comes to the greatest of all time and the constant narratives that the media has tried to throw out, that's when I say, I threw the Isaiah Thomas saying, I'm gonna take a time out on this one. I don't think he's the greatest of all time. I mean, there's reasons that I've said about this. There's no disrespect to the man. The man is an unbelievable talent. I mean, he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. I mean, I respect him for that. Like I said, I just don't like his diva-ish attitude and what he does on the court. But I critique him as a basketball player. I've never critiqued LeBron as a man. Never have and never will. Just basketball. That's all it is. Like Kevin Durant says, we're talking about basketball, man. Let's just talk about basketball. You know? I mean, I know with the whole burner account and with the whole sensitive thing, I get all that. But Kevin Durant also does have a point. At the end of the day, it's just basketball. But remember the message I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. This is all connected to LeBron James. Why? You're saying it has nothing to do with LeBron. Yes, it does. Because as long as KD leaves, the belief by the 3-6 Mafia will be that LeBron has a legitimate chance to own this decade that he hasn't owned. And I'm going to say it again. As great as and physically dominant LeBron James has been throughout most of his career, he's never truly really dominated his era. He's dominated it with individual numbers. But when it comes to winning, yeah, he's won 3 championships. He's won. I'm not saying that. But in terms of winning dominance, he hasn't done that. And that's where I'm saying that LeBron, when we're talking about the Pantheon, that's where I say that he's a top 10, but not a top 5. He's made a lot of finals appearances, but once again, I'm not giving you participation trophies. Let's say LeBron James wins 6 championships and loses 3. LeBron James has a case to be, he right there, to me, he'd probably arguably be a top 3 player, in my opinion, if he did that. I know people are going to feel differently. I'm just saying from my perspective, from my opinion, let's say LeBron won 6 out of 9 titles. LeBron makes a legitimate case. You could love or hate him all you want. But if he had won 6 championships in 9 tries, that's a 66 win percentage. LeBron would be up there among the greatest. Of course, like in terms of the Pantheon, he has a chance to crack Mount Rushmore. Like that's what LeBron would have been at. But that's not where I see him right now. And then going back to Chris Broussard, that's what Chris is praying for. That's what Nick Wright is praying for. That's what Shannon Sharp is praying for. Because according to Shannon Sharp, KD's diminished. It's a fact. No, the fact is you slurp too much LeBron's nuts, Shannon. That's a fact. But anywho, this is your boy Lewis with another one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on my video. What is your take on everything I just said? And as always, I appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share. Bless up. One love. Peace. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with a couple of more videos.